Welcome to this look at a new map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. This is MASNA Dolina. This is a new map out, definitely on console. I think it's across all platforms. I'm pretty sure it is. This is by Puma 145. It will use 341.82 megabytes. I'm going to start off now by saying, well, as I always do, but I'm doing this on new farmer mode, on normal economy, which is kind of the settings I generally have things on. And this is a tale of two halves, is how I'm going to put this. I don't want to be negative about things, because that's just not who I am. I don't like to be like that. Just to say that there are elements on this map which are fantastic and I absolutely love, and I love the landscape, and I think it's picturesque, and the textures and the colour palette and all that kind of stuff, which I'll talk about as we go around. But there are some elements on here which I'm not crazy about. A few bits and bobs here and there which I think probably need a bit of tidying up or a little bit of work, or but again, that could be the crossover from PC to console. I've said that many times before, that sometimes it looks great on PC and then when you do the console crossover, some things get lost in translation. It happens. I'm not going to be pointing those things out constantly. I don't want to, but you'll see as we go around, just to say that I'm feeling it's a little bit of a, I know people will use the phrase, it's not finished, it needs finishing, that's generally the comments that happen when people see things like that, but like I say. So, where do we start? Well, this is the map. It's not huge. You look at where the map boundaries, generally speaking, are, and then this is the map we've got. This top section is not usable, so it's only up to here. Well, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure the boundary goes out. If we do this, you see where that section is, which is all 0, which you can buy, but it does cut that top section off. But anyway, as far as where we start on New Farmer, we start with Field 13 and the farm here with the cows on. That's what you own. Where we actually start is here at the pig farm, which is a separate one. Now there are 3 main farms. You've got the cow farm there, you've got the pig farm there, and we've got a chicken farm up the top there. There are no horses on here at the moment, which I guess you could place, and there are no sheep. Fields aren't huge, and field prices do range from 33 grand for that one, the one I was just on, 47 for 13,000, up to the largest on the map, 22 for 186 grand, 46, 173. So not massively expensive. Now, unlike some maps, especially Polish ones, this is a Polish map, it's not as easy to combine fields on here. So this might not be a bad one for starting out, having a go, learning the ropes. It's not big fields, it's not going to take you a long time, that kind of thing. Drawback for me personally, biogas plant, and you'll see why when I click on that. The biogas plant is tied up with all these other areas, which I don't know why you would want to buy them all up in one go. 776,000. So if you do want to do some forestry, if you do want to do silage and that kind of stuff, that's a lot of money to fork out on such a small map, because it's not like you can make that kind of money easily with small fields. So that's one, it's a drawback. It's one thing, again, I'm pointing out, it's a map tour review, how I normally do these things. The other thing is, it does say in the description, the map is made in a modern Polish climate. Driving round, I didn't get that feeling, weirdly. I don't know. Well, at the end of the day, I'm not Polish. I've only been to Poland once, and I don't know. I wasn't getting that. Now, the other thing to point out, I'm sure these guys put out Polish maps on purpose, just for people reviewing it like me to make themselves look like idiots. The names of places down the side, I'm going to apologise in advance if I make mistakes when I say these names. I'm not Polish. I don't speak Polish. I will try my very best. But we have 3 main sell points. Well, kind of 4, I guess. It's weird actually, because it does say contains 3 modern farms. Yeah, 50 fields and 3 sell points. But there are more than 3 sell points there. Anyway, regardless of all that, contracts are available. I don't know if it's seasons ready. It doesn't say in the Modhub if it is or not. So don't know. But anyway, this is the pig farm. As far as, again, placeables go, I haven't tried everywhere on the map. A couple of places I've tried have been okay. These areas are fairly flat. That's not to say it's going to be easy to do everywhere. So, buying, selling, loading or unloading of pigs is done from this point here. Water trough is this side. Feed trough is over the other side. And when they spawn into this little area here. If we open the doors here and go in, you've got the slurry trigger. I think that's the manure point there. And as far as I can tell, bedding goes in along here as well, because you've got this little bit here. So I think it's going to be in here. Which brings me on to the next point that I want to raise, is that not all of the sell points and not all of the triggers are easily identifiable, I think is the other thing. And that's why I'm saying it's a tale of two halves, because I'm really torn, because I like the map, I like the way it's laid out, and like I say, I like the colour palette and I like the landscape, but there are certain elements to it which I'm not raving about, which is really difficult because that doesn't sit well with me. I like, you know, sometimes I go on a map and think I really just don't like it, you know, and everyone has that. There'll be maps you go on and think I love it, other maps you go on and think I don't really like it, it's not my cup of tea. It's the maps that catch you somewhere in between that are the frustrating ones, because there's so much of it you think I really like this, and other bits you're like, I don't know. There's a lot of traffic on this as well, and the roads are narrow. We've got these tree stumps dotted all the way along field edges, and there's a lot of them as well. It's very easy to clout into those in vehicles, as I've found out repeatedly. We are facing north at the moment. The main farm that we start with on New Farm is just down here, but I'm going to take the road bit here. And the other thing is, there are bits around that it's really picturesque. It's lovely. This really is not going to be for everybody. I know how people feel about big fields. I know how people feel about... Some people don't like a cluttered map. Did I mention it already? This will use 341.82 megabytes, which is fairly high, in all honesty, for a fairly small map. But there's a lot of detail on that. So we are currently here at the livestock market, buying, selling, loading or unloading of animals is done from here. So where are we on the map at the moment? We started off here at the pig farm, which we've just looked at. We've gone up this bit here, along here, and we're now at the animal dealer. We're going to go along to our main farm, then we're going to head out to the sawmill, and we're going to come around this map anti-clockwise. And like I say, we'll take in everything as we go around. We'll have a look. Once we get to the main farm, we'll get to the vehicles, and I'll drive around in a tractor from that point. Forest to my right. And I think the balance of colour in the colour palette is nice. You've got bits of, you know, you've got flowers and things here and there, but not too much, enough to give you a splash of colour here and there, which gives it a nice accent. You've got these little ponds and rivers and things dotted around again, which really break up the landscape and I think add to it. I think it makes it really nice. So, main farm that you start with on New Farmer is here. Now, on New Farmer, we have used 624 out of 1299 slots. On Farm Manager, 613 out of 1299. But what I couldn't figure out between the two was what was different, because as far as I could tell, you had the same starting machinery. And then on Start from Scratch was also 613 out of 1299. Again, I struggled to work out. I went backwards and forwards, and I thought the machinery was all the same. Again, maybe I've missed something. If you decide to come on here and sell all of the machinery off, you can get that slot count on. This is only on console and PC. It doesn't affect you if you're on PC. There is no slot count. There are no slots. Don't worry. You can get that down to 488 out of 1299. So, main farm. We've got buildings and stuff around us. We own field 13, which is this one just to the other side of the wall there. We've got cows just in this field here. The animal places are all fixed in place. Slurry tank there. Milk pickup trigger is just here. As you can see, the churn's inside there. Trigger inside there, as far as I can tell. Was that the straw one or was that the feed one? Hang on. Let's come around to the other side, because in the field here, this is our trigger for buy, sell, load or unload of our cows. There's a trigger in here for water, but I couldn't find a trough of feed. So as far as I can tell, feed and straw is all done in here. Generally speaking they are. Often, you know, part of it will be for feed and part will be for straw for bedding through the centre section there. It's not always the case, but generally speaking. Manure point there for your mucking out, which I think is automatic. I don't think you have to do it yourself. And then we've got a few farm buildings. So this is where all the main machinery is, and we've got a few buildings here with stuff scattered around in various different sheds. Most of these are drive-through. Oh, that was the thing I was going to point out. There's no sleep trigger. There's no sleep through the night trigger. So we've got a few bits of machinery there. We'll go through the machinery list in just a second, but they are kind of dotted around through the different sheds. That's the other one. That was in here. So, what do we actually start with then? Well, if we go to garage. So this is why I'm absolutely baffled now. Yeah, 624. Why is it? I can't figure out what's different. Anyway, regardless, we've got the Fendt Favorite 511C. We've got a John Deere 6135, which again, that's 41 slots. So if you want to get rid of the John Deere and get a tractor with a lower slot count, you can already drop that slot count down below 600. So, you know, got the Rostelmash 330 Agroliner trailer, header for the Rostelmash. We've got a cultivator, seeder, and a fertiliser spreader, and that's it. That's all you start with. It's not a huge amount of machinery, but I mean it's enough to get you started at the end of the day. Right, what else are we looking at? Oh yeah, mods and placeables. There's only one thing I could find that's modded by the actual map maker. It's the grain silo, but weirdly you don't actually own it off the start. I couldn't find a silo on the farm. The other thing when we come out of here as well is there's nothing on there. Normally you have 6 boxes and one is for farmhouses. There's not one there for farmhouses. So I'm assuming that if you get a modded trigger for a farmhouse, whether it be a doormat or an actual farmhouse, that extra category will pop into there. Otherwise you can't put a sleep through the night trigger on, which seemed a bit odd. Whether that's an oversight or whether it's intentional, I don't know, because the farmhouse is here but there is no trigger on it. It's one of those ones for short Polish people as well. Look, I'm not saying Polish people are short, I'm just saying for, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's get around the map in the tractor. So from here at the main farm we're going to go anti-clockwise. So I suppose you've got elements like this, which feels quite modern, and the pig farm was the same, fairly modern buildings and nice kind of brick paved forecourt and that kind of stuff, or yard area. But as we go around, so we're having a crossing directly outside the exit. But anyway, we're going to go straight out here, and it's not going to take long to get across the map, because like I say it's not a big map. We'll take this turning here, which takes out to the sawmill. I like the layouts. I like, you know, like I say, I'm so torn. I like the fact the sawmill is tucked away in the trees. You know, you come through and it opens out into this clearing that, you know, it's got a nice feel. It's a nice setup. It looks, I don't know, I like it. But straight off the back of that is that situation of, okay, so where's the sell point? That is wood chips, I'm assuming. According to the map, it should be here somewhere. So what we'll do is we'll go into the menu, and go like that, and we'll go down to sawmill. Click on that, tag place. So that is where it's saying the sell point is. And that's my point. That's not really obvious. I mean, when you drive in here, you don't think, oh yeah, look, there's the sell point for lumber. On the map, bottom left, that is exactly where I am at the moment, but you don't drive in and immediately look and think, because a lot of people don't always have the map on. You know, they won't play with the map on necessarily. There we go, get rid of it. So it's not clear, and as you go around the map you'll see that a lot. Not all of the sell points are clearly marked, so it's not always easy to work out where you are going to be selling stuff. That's the sawmill. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's go to the top of the map to see if we can get onto that area. I haven't checked that yet. I kind of had a whiz round, had a look, tried to work out where things were, but I didn't. It's only when I was just showing it just now I suddenly thought, oh yeah, that's a point, I wonder. I'm assuming there's a boundary. Sorry for driving across the fields. There is a river section running across here, which is, again, very picturesque, very lovely. The track goes past. I'm assuming we're going to hit the boundary. If not, that's a bit of a bonus, but I don't think we can. No. Oh, it's deceptive, isn't it? That's sneaky. That you drive up and think, oh yeah, look, there's crops on there, that's fine. No. So you can't. I thought I'd better check, because I know it'd be one of those questions people go, oh yeah, but can you? I don't know. But now we do. So, back down onto the main road. The sawmill's just over there, so we're going to carry on going anti-clockwise. Like I say, look across here now and it's like, oh, it's lovely. I really like it. I like the fact it's not sprawling, it's not huge, and like I say, if you are starting out, if you're new to the game, sometimes, and I can totally understand it, it can be absolutely overwhelming when you look at all the things that as a player and all the people that have been playing this for a long time, and all the various different incarnations of Farming Simulator, that when a new version comes out you kind of absorb the new changes into the ones you already know about. Some of them change and shift, and when a new game comes out, a new version, everyone spends ages trying to work out what's new, what's changed, what's, you know, how's it evolved. For someone coming on this new that's never played this franchise at all, it's a minefield of stuff to learn and pick up and understand and try and work out, especially if you don't know anything about farming. It's like, where do I even begin? So starting off on a small map with small fields, it's not too overwhelming, with not too many sell points, can often be a help. So we're at the store. We've got our cash point, lovely. We've got our buy sell point. Well, no, we haven't. We've got a buy point. I don't know where the workshop trigger is. I haven't found a workshop anywhere. There's not one, again, not clearly marked here. Now, if you've been on this already, since it was released yesterday and today, me posting this, you may have already worked out, you may have already, but again, it's not obvious. There's not something clearly marked that says this is the workshop trigger where you can sell your vehicles, repair them, reconfigure them. Again, I don't know. It's a fairly small yard, and the reset point is here at the store. So if you get something stuck, roll it over, all that kind of thing, it will reset here. Now this is not a map for massive machinery, but if you were to pick some machinery that was a bit too big, again, there's not a lot of room for it to spawn in here, so hooking vehicles up and getting them out might be a little bit tricky, so just bear that in mind. Which brings us into the next of our sell points, which is just here. Again, not particularly clearly marked where the sell points are. Now some people like that, because a lot of people will play and they don't like necessarily having the marked things. You can turn those off sometimes on maps, but people don't always like having them because it doesn't feel real. You know, you don't drive into a shop, you know, I don't go to my local supermarket and there's a big hazard taped area for where I do my shopping. You know, that's not how it works. I get that, but sometimes it does help to know. Now, we are currently, this is where I'm going to get this horribly wrong, we have got Skup u Weissia and Elevator Spazovo, is it? Spazowi? I'm so sorry. Anyway, first one is there. And what we'll do is that and that, which actually puts it directly through there. So that is our first one in here in the building. The next one is actually this one here. So that's your other sell point. Just there. So these two are that one there, at the bottom, which does all of those crop types, and then this one, the elevator, that one there, which does all those crop types. And those two are right on top of each other. So that's where we are at the moment. You can go at the back of there as well. There's like I say, there's a lot of detail. The buildings, the texture and stuff is great, but there are points as you drive around where it does feel quite claustrophobic. It's not, well, cluttered maybe, I don't know. The thing is, the real world is like this. I know, you know, but I suppose again, I'm just kind of trying to play devil's advocate in so much as I know people think, oh, I don't know, you know, the yards aren't massive, but it's not designed for big machinery. You know, it just isn't. You know, as I said about levels, I like the fact you've come off the bottom sort of a little plane down there, and we've come up a little bit, and we're already raised up, and you've got this higher section here. What we're going to do is cut across here. And another one of these nice features I really like, as you look across the fields, it's really picturesque, and you've got this little hill. It's nothing massive, it's nothing major, but I like it. It's weird, you know, I can't put my finger on why. There's a few floating tree stumps here and there, there's a, you know, I don't know, you know. So, I love these. It's really cool. So, we're going to cut round this way, then come back across. Round the back of here, which isn't marked on the map, we've got a buy point for manure and slurry. So you can buy manure and slurry from here. But it's not actually on the map anywhere. It doesn't say that it is, but I kind of came across it and thought I better check that, and grabbed the trailer, and yeah, you can. So there's a buy point just there, tucked away. And this is what I mean about where it says the map is made in a modern Polish climate. Now, I haven't been around a lot of Poland, but this doesn't feel modern to me. There are elements of it. It feels kind of fairly run down. You've got that mix of sort of newish buildings and then old derelict buildings, and which again I think gives it a really interesting feel. You know, probably just talking nonsense, but that's just how I feel about it. Off to our right, we've got a lime point, which is just there. So we've got a lime buy station, buy point just there. They're obviously doing a lot of lime, big lorries and massive piles. And then we've got the biogas plant just here, which is a fair size. The automatic gates, barriers do take a little while to come up. They're fairly slow, so don't approach them at pace. So we've got our sell point, tipping in point just there. We have got our digestate, byproduct spout pipe just there, and two bunker silos around the back here. Plenty of space here for moving vehicles around and that kind of thing. Very nice indeed. Probably could have gone that way, couldn't I? You know what? Let's go out that way. Oh, sorry for that. I assume this barrier's going to open, because this is the way we want to go. Yeah. We'll cut across the grass. It's fine. So coming up around the back, again, another elevation change. So we come up again, and the dairy sell point is there. Again, we click on that, tag place, it's just there. There are churns in front, so we know that is the dairy place, but actually where the specific sell point is, it's not, again, it's not clear. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It's good to see they've got nice new milk tanks there, which is what you want to see, isn't it, if you're going to be buying milk. And then as we come round here, we have got, I'm going to check on the map, I'm also going to show you where we are now. So we came from the shop, these two sell points here, out past here, where the manure and slurry buy point was, lime station, biogas plant. We've come up here to dairy station, then we've got Skup, is it Jajek? Just there, which is that one. And this one buys specifically eggs. We tag it, and it's just there. Need I say more? So, carrying on, we come into a much more built-up area now. And I had one of those, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail, a kind of, it sounds really pretentious, I'm sorry, but it was a real feeling of a kind of modern juxtaposition in. I'll explain when I get there, but it was quite. One of my favourite artists is Edward Hopper. What I've always loved about Edward Hopper, and it's just me personally, is paintings of buildings but with a human element. So you've got the often harsh edges and stuff of buildings and architecture, which I love. I love architecture, but then that softening and contrast of a human element to it. Might be one person, two people, you know, whatever it might be, and I love that, and I got that with this map. It's probably another reason why I feel so kind of conflicted about it. So as we come into this more kind of industrial section right next to sort of housing as well, again we've got 3 sell points in here which aren't kind of labelled really. We've got round the side here, I'm not going to put the columns on because I know where these ones, well, I know where the other ones are, but right here by this massive sugar beet pile is the sugar beet sell point. We'll have a look on the map in a minute. Round here and under this cover is one of the main sell points. Again, you're not going to get massive trailers and stuff under here, and ones that lift as well, tippers, you're going to struggle. And then the third one is round here for your potatoes, and that's this one just here. So again, we come back to the map. It's these 3 here. Skup Barakov, Gorzelnia, and Skup Zimnyakov, is it? Zimnyakov? Sorry. So all 3 of those are right on top of each other just here. So as we keep going, open sesame. And we carry on a little bit further. We haven't got many left. I'm just thinking we've got barn, the chickens, and then what else was it? It was another sell point. Right, and this is where we got to. No, and this is where I kind of stopped here, and I took the thumbnail from here. And this is what I'm talking about. This juxtaposition. You know, this lovely landscape, and then right behind it, this really imposing kind of workhouse factory kind of. There's that amazing thing of natural beauty in front with that, you know, that, I don't know, deep in it. It's oh dearie me, it's evoking strong feelings in me. I don't know, but that's amazing. That's like art, isn't it? If something can evoke an emotional reaction, that's amazing. Anyway, so carrying on. A little insight into my possible insanity, but anyway, carrying on round here. And in this section here, we've got the barn sell point. Barn sell point is just over there, which, oddly, out of all of them, is clearly marked. Look, there's the barn sell point. It's odd. I don't know why. So we are now here on the map. So we're on the eastern side, and we're heading north. So we're going to head up the eastern side here, around here, up to the chickens, and up to the last of the sell points, magazine, which is up there. We started here at the pigs, and we've done an anti-clockwise loop pretty much all around the entire map. So not much left to go. And like I always say when I do these tours, you know, I'm sure I probably have missed something. The beauty of a new map is to go on and have a bit of a search around and you know, just explore and find things. You may watch the map tour and think, you know what, it's not for me, and that's absolutely fine. Of course it is. No one says everyone's got to like every map that comes out. You might look on it and think it's brilliant, it's exactly what I've been looking for, I love it. And again, fantastic. You know, when I say at the end of a video, I hope you found it useful and informative, that's not always necessarily a positive. It might be you look at it and think, you know, I did find this useful. No, I know it's not for me. But I hope the reverse is true. I do have a lot of people comment and message and say, you know what, I wasn't really interested in that map, and then I watched your tour and thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And I like that. I like it when people do that. I've been the same. You know, when mods come out, I can be, you know, when I first look in the Modhub every day when I'm checking to do my mod reviews, and I'll look and I might look at a mod and be quite dismissive initially and think, oh, why do we need another one of those? Or what's that in there for? And then when you go on and you check it out and you usually start yourself and you think, actually, you know what? That's brilliant. That's cool. I like that. You know, so you know, it's always nice to be pleasantly surprised, I think. So, chicken farm is here. Lots of big buildings. Again, if you want this to be your main farm, it can be. It doesn't have to be where it says you start out from. So chicken pen is just here. Our egg spawn point for boxes, or if you put pallets on there, whatever you want to do, is there. Buy, sell. You can't load or unload, but it's just there. I don't think the gate's open here. No, not I can tell. And then your feed trigger is just there. Very nice little house they've got there. Lovely. What we're going to do now is head out then to the final sell point, which is magazine. I do like the fact there's this side gate, because I did think, oh, we have to go all the way back out on the way around. But yes, very nicely positioned. Well thought out. Bit of an industrial, I say industrial, it's not, it looks like it's either elements of this have been knocked down and they're kind of making the best of what's left, or I'm not too sure, but which is just through here. Again, fairly narrow, you're not going to get big machinery in here, and that's your final sell point. But it does mean though that you do have to go through the yard for the chickens, so if you're just here to sell, unless there a side track that goes next to it, or do you have to go back through the chickens? I just want to check that actually. In my head, I'm just curious. I think we can go to the side, can't we? Yeah, that's right, cool, you don't have to go through that. Brilliant. And that's it, that's the map, you know. I hope I haven't been too, like I say, I hope I haven't been too negative. I have been constantly saying about the positives and things I really like about it, and you know, like I've always said, whenever I do these map tours, you can't hide anything. You know, when you're driving round, it'd be no different if I was constantly saying, oh, everything's wonderful, everything's wonderful, and people go, well actually, you know, I saw this, this and this, you know. But then again, I don't want to go around the map going, oh, this is all dreadful, this is all awful, because it's not. When you go around it, you know, like I say, when you look across the map, it's lovely. And there is that real contrast, like I said earlier, that juxtaposition between areas of this, like this, which I suppose is absolutely like it in the real world, where it's all really lovely and picturesque and countryside, then you've got these real built-up areas with manufacturing and factories and all sorts of stuff going on, kind of plonked slap bang in the middle of it all. So we are now back into the back of the pig farm where we started, just there. That is MASNA Dolina by Puma 145. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.